sure a lot of us in this room know someone who needed medical treatment and they couldn't afford it for some reason. Or I'm sure some of us in this room know someone who got pregnant unexpectedly and they were scared to death about their future and what they were going to do and who was going to help them. Planned Parenthood is an organization that is designed to help people like this. I think that the U.S. government should continue funding Planned Parenthood, except for the abortion services that it offers. Today, I will first speak on the people who are helped by Planned Parenthood. Secondly, I'll explain services they offer, and third, I'll explain women's rights and how they're affected by the funding or defunding of Planned Parenthood. So around 40 pregnancies in the U.S. are unintended every year, and for that many pregnancies being unintended, that's a lot of people who are scared and don't know what to do about it. More than 45 million people live below the poverty line in the U.S., so that's also a lot of people who, if they need medical treatment, they might not be able to afford it, or they might not be able to afford health insurance to receive it. Bernie Sanders once said that at the current $5.15 an hour, the federal minimum wage has become a poverty wage. A full-time worker with one child lives below the official poverty line. So with the poverty level in America so high, it's sometimes difficult for these citizens to get the proper medical care, which can harm them or harm women who can't get the medical care they need for their pregnancy. So this is why we need organizations like Planned Parenthood. First, I'm going to discuss who Planned Parenthood mainly provides services to and why they depend so much on them. Planned Parenthood mostly provides to low-income families and people. A lot of people live in communities where they don't have very many medical services that are available to them. And so they depend a lot on Planned Parenthood because they help with different payment options. They help people with no health insurance or Medicaid or Medicare. Planned Parenthood services 2.7 million people per year, and 78% of those people have low income, so that's over half. Over half of the people who use Planned Parenthood are on Medicaid, which is a health provider for people with low incomes. Half of the clients who use Planned Parenthood live in rural or unserved communities, so some people, Planned Parenthood is all they have, whether it is for medical treatment or for pregnancy. They have many payment options to ensure that their clients get the best kind of medical service they need. And if the patients are uninsured for some reason, which happens a lot, they may qualify for state-funded programs or a lower fee scale. And the fees are determined on a sliding scale based on household incomes. Now I will discuss the services offered by Planned Parenthood. A lot of people think Planned Parenthood is just for abortions, but that's actually not true. Only 3% of their services are for abortions. 4,496,308 people were treated for STDs. 1,121,580 people had cancer screenings, testing, and prevention. 3,724,558 people were educated on contraception and helped with it. UTI treatments, family practices for men and women, and many more services were provided to 123,308 patients. So Planned Parenthood helps with a lot more than just pregnancy. Next, I'll talk about women's rights. A lot of people think that defunding Planned Parenthood would take away the rights of women and the safe haven that they need when they are pregnant. And defunding Planned Parenthood could cause a division because these women feel like their rights have been stripped. And while I don't support abortion, I support the other services that Planned Parenthood provides. That's why I think we should fund everything but the abortion services. Some people might say that's contradicting women's rights because they don't have the right to an abortion, but I feel like they still have rights because they have the rights for birth control and they have the right to give their child up for adoption. So it's kind of more equal because whether you're pro-life or pro-choice, it works out for both. And more babies have the right to live. And women also depend on Planned Parenthood for mammograms and simple examinations. And it's also a safe haven for women, so to take away the funding would take away that for women as well. 25% of people would lose their access if we defunded petitions. I urge you to sign them to help with the funding. I hope that my speech allows you to make your own opinion on this, but I pray that you go out and try and make a difference, sign petitions, and go to rallies that support this, and I pray that you can just make your own opinion on it.
Has Planned Parenthood been around for a while, or is it something that's kind of new?
I think it's been around since I would say like the 60s or 70s. It's been around for a while. It's just now more in the media because there's so many people who feel like we shouldn't fund it because it helps with abortions.
How do we fund Planned Parenthood and not fund abortions? How can we separate those two things?
Well, there's other places that do help with abortions, so women can always go there if they really do want to do that. But the government can kind of control, and Medicaid helps control where the money goes. And they can also, which is illegal in a lot of states, and make it illegal so they're not allowed to do that.
In some cases, like the unplanned pregnancy, some of it's like rape and things like that, but some of it people have to take responsibility for they messed up and they didn't want to be, but they are.
Right, that's why I think that we shouldn't fund abortion, because if you were willing to go out and do that, I think you should have to take care of it, or at least find somebody who would want to take care of it